If you want to achieve financial independence, there are 5 steps that you need to do. Watch this video to the end so that you know exactly what the 5 steps are. Hi, my name is Calvin and welcome to Wealth Insiders. If you want to learn to be financially free and retire early and also learn about investment strategies, start right now by clicking on the subscribe button here and clicking on the bell so that whenever I come out with a new video, you'll be notified. Okay, let's talk about our topic for today, which is the 5 steps to financial independence. Well, technically it's not 5 steps, but more like 5 things that you need to do in order to achieve financial independence. Because if you have all these 5 things in place, then the chances of you achieving financial independence is much higher. At the same time, you will achieve it much faster. The first thing to do is to make a monthly budget. Yeah, I know it's a pain in the butt, right? You need to keep tab on what's happening, especially with your expenses, that you need to write down everything. It's a pain in the butt, but it is something that it is good for you to know, right? Of course, this budget is actually your income and expenditure budget. You know exactly how much you are earning, at the same time how much you are spending on what item and things like that. So ideally, it is good for you to keep, just for a guide for you, right, is to have maybe 2 or 3 months where you need to itemize every cent, every penny that you have spending out, to itemize it out so that you know maybe at a certain, every month there's a certain pattern, certain expense that you are spending that you are not aware of, and it's taking a lot of money. So if you are able to itemize it out, then especially over 2 or 3 months, you know you can establish a certain pattern that you normally spend your money. Then that will help you to take control of the situation, that you're able to control your expenses. Because many a times when it comes to expenses, a lot of us rely on emotion. We just look at certain things, oh, it's very nice, we buy. Then we look at certain things, oh, we like, we buy. And we just let emotion control us. And that's not very, very good if your main aim is to achieve financial independence. Now that you have created that monthly budget, that monthly income and expenditure budget, well, I would say more like income and expenditure statement, yeah, you will be able to keep track of what you are spending. Because the second step is that you should not spend more than you earn, right? Because if you have this, like I said, the first step one, you're able to keep track of all your expenditure, then you will know that maybe a lot of us have been spending more than we earn, and that's why a lot of us are using credit cards to cover all this expenditure. And you're just wondering why is it that you are paying so much, right? So, but if you have this monthly income and expenditures budget or statement, what actually happens is then you will know what's happening. So do not spend more than you earn. So that's the second step, right? So why? Because a lot of us are also governed by our emotion, as I mentioned earlier. That when we see our friends, our relatives buying that new phone, the new iPhone, or that new brand new big screen TV, what happens? Again, our emotion is affected. So we also want to upgrade our new iPhone. We want to upgrade that new to a brand new large screen TV. And this is something that you need to watch out. Well, I'm not saying that you shouldn't be buying it, but I'm just saying that that's an opportunity cost, right? So if you're spending this money to pay, to buy these kind of things, then something have to give, right? And that's something that you need to watch out for. So the idea is that do not spend more than you earn. There is this saying that I'm not sure who is it that said it. It says that we buy things we don't need with money we don't have to impress people we don't like. Are you like that? You know, that when friends and relatives have this brand new car or even a brand new bungalow, single family home, then you want to be buy all these kind of things because he has it, I must have it too, right? So now you are able to keep track of your expenses. So now the next thing is to actually control it, to make sure that, like I said, do not let your expenses, how much you are spending, to be more than what you earn. If you like the video so far, can I encourage you to subscribe to my channel by clicking on the subscribe button here and also clicking on the thumbs up button below, because by doing that, it will help the YouTube algorithm to push this video to more people out there. And now let's talk about the third step that we need to do. We'll talk about expenditure, we talk about budgeting, and now we talk about income. The third thing is to increase your income. I know a lot of us work for somebody, right? We work a 9 to 5 job and we have a boss to go to. And sometimes it's quite difficult to get a pay rise, correct? Well, you never ask, you never know. So go ahead and ask your boss and say, can I have a pay rise? Who knows? You may get a pay rise yourself, right? Another thing that you can do to increase your income is to have side hustles. So what do I mean by side hustles? Well, you have your 9 to 5 job. Then after 5, the time is yours, right? Well, use that time to do things that will bring money into your pocket. Or maybe on a weekend, Saturday, Sunday. Well, again, use that time to do things, to do projects that will put money into your pocket. I mean, example, it could be, let's say for example, you are a finance person, you are an accountant. What you can do is, at evenings, you can go to the local florist or even a small garage in the neighborhood to help them to do their accounting, right? You can do all that. Or maybe you are a computer designer, you're very good in design, right? You can go to certain websites like Fiverr.com to bid for jobs, to do logo, to draw, things like that, yeah? And that's how you can actually earn money and put money into your pocket outside your working hours. Or you can be a bartender, right? On a Friday night and a Saturday night. Well, there are a lot of jobs available for that, right? Or you could be an Uber driver, things like that, you know, driving people around and earning extra pocket money, putting into your pocket. Another thing that you can do, now that it's going to be summer in the Northern Hemisphere, is to go to your neighborhood and offer your services to mow their lawn over the weekend, Saturday, Sunday. Again, that is putting money into your pocket. Now that you're able to control your expenses and you increase your income, what's next? Well, the natural thing is the difference between your income and your expense. What happens is you have a lot of money, right? This money. So this is what to do with this money. So the next step, step number 4, is to take this money and invest in assets or investment vehicles that will give you capital gains and give you a passive income, right? So what do I mean by that, right? So for example, what you can do is you take this money, again the difference in the money, every month take some money out and buy shares in the stock market, right? What I mean by capital gains, which means that, like for example, in recent days, the Tesla shares has been going up like nobody's business. It's crazy, right? So what you do is you buy Tesla shares. Maybe today you buy it for X dollars, and then tomorrow, in 3 months time, 6 months time, 1 year, what happens is it's double in value. So that's what I mean by capital gains, which means that your price, instead of paying $1 now, you're actually getting back $2, yeah? Now, certain shares as well, they have something called dividend. When you invest in this company, not only is the price of the share going up, but every year or maybe half yearly, depending on the companies, what they do is they'll give you a dividend. And that's what I mean by passive income, putting money into your pocket. Then of course, in the same reign, we can also talk about mutual funds. Well, you can buy mutual funds that they can do exactly the same thing. But the thing is, the mutual fund is that you don't need to have actively looking out for it, right? You can keep putting money into it, and these professional companies will manage the fund for you, right? And again, if invested right, depending on the type of mutual funds you buy, then what happens is you'll again experience increase in terms of capital gains. At the same time, you'll get a dividend out of these mutual funds. Another type of asset that can give you capital gains and give you passive income is property, yeah? Well, what I mean by that is that you buy a property, well, you over time, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, what happens is the property more often than not will increase in value, okay? Capital gains. increase in value. Then not only that, you take this property and you rent it out, and then every month the tenant will pay you a rent, passive income. Yeah, I have made a series of videos actually on property investment because that's how I personally achieve financial independence, and that video is right here. So watch that video. Well, don't watch it now, but watch it later. That list of videos which will actually help you into how to buy property, why, location wise, and things like that. All those videos is up there. Yeah, so watch it later. Another type of investment vehicles that you can also invest in is precious metal. Things like silver and gold. Those two categories, for example, are good for in situation where there are a lot of uncertainties in the market, where maybe the stock market is going to crash, or maybe economically is not so good. Then when you invest in silver and gold, what happens is, because everybody else also feel the same way, they are uncertain about an economical situation, what happens is the prices of precious metal will go up. Silver and gold will go up. Yeah. The other thing which I personally invest in, again for inflationary purposes, where I will counteract inflation, is cryptocurrency. I personally buy Bitcoin and Ethereum. Yeah, and I actually have a video on it, why you should consider cryptocurrency as well, and that video is up there. Cryptocurrency like Bitcoins and Ethereum is something that you can consider because over time, well, that's my personal opinion, is that it will increase in value. The fifth step that we need to do is to build an emergency fund. I think it's good for me to use examples as a way to explain why you should be having an emergency fund built up. Imagine your loved one, a family member, have a medical emergency and have to be admitted to the hospital. Well, expensive, right? The hospital bill? Well, you need to pay it. And if you have an emergency fund, you are covered. Or maybe you are driving down the road and somehow your car broke down. And in order to repair the car, you need $1,000, you need $2,000. Again, if you have an emergency fund, you will be taken care of. Or even like in this kind of economy, right? Many people are retrenched. They lose their job. And then what happens? Again, you have an emergency fund, it will last you for some time, because research have said that many people that if they lose their job, they can't last 2 weeks because that's all the savings that they have. So how much are we talking about building this emergency fund? Well, you should have at least 3 months of living expense. So again, like I said, if you are able to do your budget in the first step, right, and you know what is your living expense, your minimal living expense, okay, use times 3 months of, then you set it aside as your emergency fund. Of course, ideally it's better to have even 6 months, because example, right, when you lose a job, you may not even get a job within 3 months, right? Probably you need 4 months, 5 months to get a job, right? So that's why 6 months is ideal in terms of emergency fund, 6 months of living expense. It is important to keep this emergency fund in a liquid form, which means it's easily converted to cash. I mean, for a lot of us who have achieved financial independence, and then a lot of money is stuck somewhere, right? It's stuck maybe in a mutual fund. It's stuck because we have bought a property. You know, it's not easy to sell a property, right? To immediately access the funds is tough, right? So that's why the emergency fund must be liquid, which means it must be something that you be easily converted to cash. Maybe something like a certificate of deposit, where you can just immediately withdraw the money and you can pay off all the things that you need to do. Okay, I've also created a series of short videos talking about personal finance, and I call them 1 minute money tips, and those videos are here. Yeah, so you can actually go there and watch it, and I will see you in that videos.